bits, bytes, and everything nice. This is Final Cut Presents the Director's Cut Podcast Video Game Special. Wahoo! This is me, Mario. And I am here joined with Mario #1 fan, Mr. Dean Connolly.
I can't believe you got Mario on here. This is a dream come true.
And Mario #2 fan who likes to get stuck in pipes and hurt Mario and make him die. He holds world record for making Mario die. Mr. Michael Fraser!
Why, Luigi? Why aren't you here, Luigi?
Wahoo! Oh, don't you worry, Mr. Fraser. I, Luigi, am also here for this once-in-a-lifetime video game special.
Thank you.
Anyway, now here is the host of the show, Mr. Nathan Tasker, the only one who pays for video games. Thank you. Awesome. It is a pleasure to be here. Contrary to the introduction, this will primarily be talking about the PlayStation Showcase, as well as our gaming outlooks for 2021, and a bit of a pre-order issue that I want to bring to light. So, gentlemen, I don't know if you want to start with the podcast, or not the podcast. We're on the podcast, for heaven's sake.
Podcast.
The PlayStation Showcase or the pre-order issue. Dean, you know what it is.
I do know what he has told me what it is, and suffice to say, the developer. But I am actually quite surprised about which developer it is and for which game it's for. So that's actually going to be quite a shock to the system.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, I was lucky enough to purchase NBA 2K22 over the past week. The game itself, the on-court gameplay is fantastic. It always will be for 2K. But I, being a basketball fan and a 2K fan, ordered the 25th anniversary edition. It was supposed to come with 100,000 VC, 10,000 My Team points, a couple of other cosmetic things. A Luka Doncic jersey, I believe, was in there. A Dirk Nowitzki, Kevin Durant, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar shirt for your My Player, just anything for your custom avatar, and a copy of the previous generation's digital copy. So if you got the PS5 version, you were supposed to get the PS4 version digital. I was lucky enough to get the on-disc version, and the digital copy I received was, in fact, the PlayStation 5 digital copy, not the PlayStation 4 one. I do know that if you buy it on PlayStation Network specifically, that issue is not a thing. But for anybody who bought the disc version of NBA 2K22 on PlayStation 5, the 75th anniversary edition, please be warned, you will be getting a PS5 digital copy. It has made my disc version absolutely useless, and 2K Visual Concepts, you should be very ashamed of yourselves.
Yeah, this is actually why I'm quite surprised, because, I mean, to be fair enough, WWE 2K20 was a bomb. It really was. Me personally, I have actually got NBA 2K20 that was on PS Plus a couple of months ago.
It would have been NBA 2K20.
I have actually played that, and it is absolutely brilliant. And you just don't expect this from the guys behind the NBA 2K series. You just don't. So maybe this is a isolated incident, maybe, but I think it also. I know we're not really discussing this, but we could discuss it at a certain point. But is it getting to the point now where digital editions are better than on pre-orders wise? Digital editions are better than discs edition?
You know, I mean, I can respectfully disagree to that. This is an isolated incident. This is very bad. And
it's not going to do a reputation any good.
Yep, and digital has its advantages over physical. I'm not going to say that it doesn't, but at the same time, with the physical edition, you do have more freedom with it. You can trade it, you can sell it. Yeah. You can boot it up after about 5 or 6 years when it could be delisted from the digital market. For example, I believe it's perfect example. The Simpsons arcade game was brought to PlayStation Network on the PlayStation 3 for a set amount of months. And unfortunately, it was delisted. The Simpsons arcade game, one of the most beloved beat 'em ups from the 1990s. If you have a copy of the Simpsons arcade game on PlayStation 3 in your PlayStation digital library, you can still go and re-download it. However, try buying it. I dare you. It just will not happen. And that piece of media is lost to time. What happens when we only have the digital only games that are lost to time? That is
going to be a bit, to be fair, that's a bit of a pain in the backside for every occasion. I mean, now I'm not in favor of digital editions because I much prefer this, because then I can, if somebody wants to borrow it, I can just give it to them and say, right, do what you want with that, but obviously give me the disc and don't break it or anything. But at the same time, I mean, there's like stores out there, like us in my country. Obviously, there's like game where you can trade stuff in. CEX, which is sort of like it's sort of like game only, not as posher. It's definitely not as posher. Where you can trade games in there. So basically, buying digital, which unfortunately for some games you have to, is literally saying that what we're saying is, if you buy digital, then game retailers like Game will soon go out of business, which is a shame because I actually enjoy having a disc version. I mean, I actually bought Cold War for PS5 on disc. F1 2021, I will admit I have bought on digital simply because I get a discount, which actually makes it cheaper than if you buy the disc. I don't even know if you can buy the discs anymore. I bought Aliens Fireteam on digital. The only thing is I have tried looking for it everywhere, and I don't know if it's just me or not being able to find it, but I could not find it. But I'll get into Fireteam in a bit. But to be honest with you, I do see the appeal of both, but I do like having a hard disk copy.
You know, it does scream a lot to physical media, and there's a lot more freedom that you can have with it. Fraser, do you have anything to add on the physical digital before we get into today's big slab of news?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm more so, I prefer having physical than digital, because if I have to clear stuff off my PlayStation, at least then I can have my physical copies. I've seen a physical, actually, a Fireteam. One of my coworkers bought it at Walmart recently.
No, that's probably me. But bearing in mind, I work like 5 days a week. I barely get to go anywhere just because I'm just so busy with everything. I mean, according to the producer, I've got lots of interviews this week. I just don't get a chance to go anywhere.
Yeah, it's okay. I haven't bought a new game since, I think, COD, and then digital copy of Harvest Moon, and that's pretty much it lately. So
I will say I'm just going to say something here, chaps. I have heard the old debate, if you don't play online multiplayer, what's the point in buying PS Plus? But the fact is, depending on where you get it from, it's either 50 quid from PS Plus, or if you can get it at a discount, obviously it'd be cheaper than that. But you are getting 3 games. If you have a PS5, which we all three do have, then you're getting 3 games every month for a year. We might even be getting more than that or less than that, but let's just say you get 39 games a year. I mean, this month's ones are Predator Hunting Grounds, which I've already got. It's not, I won't say it's great, but to say it's, I mean, I did actually pay full price for it. I did actually pay the full whack for the digital edition. But that was mainly, I did buy that when we were basically in the pandemic and nobody could really go anywhere. So I did actually buy that in that. It's not. It's all right. It's not exactly Far Cry worthy or even God of War worthy, but it's worth a laugh, providing you don't mind getting hammered down by I don't know if it's still that or not because I haven't played it in a while. But the thing is, for me, I do tend to find myself. more towards F1 2021. By the way, this is going out. This is Sunday, so it is actually on a free weekend. It's double XP weekend and double weapon XP on COD as well, which I took advantage of. But to be honest with you, it takes a lot for me to separate from. I did used to play a lot of Rainbow Six Siege, but unfortunately, I have not played that in about 2.5 months because the game is becoming slowly unplayable on PlayStation. And Ubisoft, to be honest with you, doesn't really care about anyone. They just care about the money. That's it. I could get on so much for that, but I'm just going to move it on.
So yeah,
actually, I got one thing to ask you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there's this prank going around where people are deleting people's My Players. How hard is it to get your overall to like 99?
Oh, son of a
90?
Don't. So again, I bought the 75th anniversary edition. It's $120 Canadian. And the VC that it took within that edition to get me to where I am at 78 overall, I pumped all 100,000 VC into it. So it is very, very hard to grind to a point or to get enough VC by cheating to get to 99 overall. And even then, you do have to grind to get your skill caps up to 99. I personally have never done it. I do know a few people who have, but it is a tremendously long and arduous process.
Yeah. You think that's bad? I've had Fireteam nearly a week. And because there was 4 classes when I started. There was Gunner, Technician, Demolitionist, which is my favourite, and Doc. They've also included one called the Phalanx, which is a shield operator. To be honest with you, it's not bad games. If you're a fan of shoot 'em ups like I am, and you love aliens, then it is literally in the mold for you. Every mission takes about, I don't know, say 15, 20 minutes, but no more than half an hour. But the only problem is with it, obviously, if you want to do the entire story, you're basically starting at level 1 for everything. So you're literally finishing. Say if you just do a gunner all the way around, by the time you get to the mission 2, you'll be on barely level 2, and you'll just be creamed by everyone because obviously, as every gamer knows, difficulty goes up. But so what? I don't know if there's a lot of people doing this. I've been one of them. I've just been replaying the first mission just to get all my levels up on my gunner, on my doc, on my demolitionist. I'm not a big fan of a technician because I hate his loadout. I love the abilities he has. I just hate his loadout. Same with the Phalanx operator. I'm not a big fan of shielders, but if push comes to shove, I would give it a try. But the demolitionist is my favorite. But what puzzles me, right? All DLC in Fireteam will be free. So if there is someone from Aliens Fireteam who has actually done something with this and is actually a really good seller, I would like them to ration the explanation or the reasoning of me spending £29, or what did you say was, Nathan, £40 in Canadian dollars?
It would be between $35 and $40. Yeah.
So say £30 and 40 Canadian dollars of buying the Digital Deluxe upgrade, which I do want to buy. But the only problem is for your extra bit of money you're parting with, all it is a load of challenge cards, which I'll explain next because they are actually quite interesting. A load of challenge cards, a load of cosmetics, weapon skins, all that. Basically, you're paying 29 extra for a load of weapon skins, outfits, which do look quite good. But as far as paying the extra 28 quid goes for everything, 30 quid, 40 quid, I just wouldn't bother. Not unless it comes down in price in a sale, which more than likely it will. But I will say one thing. With this game, you actually get like challenge cards. I've actually played a load of them. And say you can have extra experience if you basically have a gun that's malfunctioning, or you can actually do a mission, or you can actually, no one in the 3-man team can go down. And then if you complete it, you will end up with like 3 times the credits that you normally would get. So the challenge cards are actually quite interesting. There is, in fact, Fraser can appreciate this because he's a big fan of Spider-Man in a certain way. There is actually, and I've had this card twice, there's actually a noir experience that you can have, which is basically playing in black and white, and you get 1.5 experience for it. It's absolutely lovely. It really is lovely to play in. And this is coming from the guy who's not really a big fan of noir. What I really hate about this game, in fact, I hate a lot about it, because let's face it, no game is perfect. I dare anybody to go through the annals of gaming history and say that there is a game that is perfect, because there isn't. The flamethrower that they have is too bloody bright. If you're all scrumpled up close together and someone's got a bloody flamethrower going off in front of you, it's so bright you can't see what's beyond it. Some of the challenges are a bit ridiculous, like they're really too hard to do. I'm not good. I don't know. There's been a few things really that's impressed me. There was actually 2 updates in the week since I've had it. One update was to basically put every single weapon in the game to 4 stars, which I can't remember the reasoning they did, but it's actually quite good, because I literally turned it on one day, like, why is all my guns 4 stars? Because one of it, I think it was the MA41 pulse rifle. I actually had that at level 4, but everything else I had not gone beyond level 1. Like, Jesus Christ! So they've literally leveled up all the guns that you've already unlocked. And the other day there was actually about 8 loads of challenge cards where basically you can have like triple the credit or double the experience. All you need to do is just complete a mission. And to be honest with you, it's actually a lot more appealing now that I've actually played it and I've seen everything they've done to it. Because I know you're more of a COD man than I am, Fraser, but would you ever think that Treyarch or Sledgehammer would ever do something like that in a Call of Duty game?
Nope.
Exactly. And this outfit that has made this stupidly lovable, relatable, and absolutely wild game that I actually have been playing near enough non-stop for the last week or so. I absolutely loved it. And aside from my yearly gauge into the F1 franchise, I would not give this game up for all the tea and all the millionaires in China. I really wouldn't. I enjoy it so much, despite the fact that you can literally be blinded by the light level of the flamethrower, or be killed by something going through it that you can't see. But I really do like it.
Alrighty.
Well, just one more thing. If anybody wants to see a Final Cut special or a Body Slam and Dropkick special where us 3 take on the entire game, then please feel free to say that in. Oh yes, and don't forget to use the hashtag is We Want a Final Cut Aliens Fireteam Edition. So please go on Fraser's Twitter at Beautiful Michael and please get him to buy it. I don't know why you're laughing, because as soon as he buys it, we're both starting on you.
Well, there you go. But speaking of games for people to buy, the reason that we're doing this, PlayStation Showcase. So this was an event that was live streamed by Sony on Thursday. Pretty well their answer to E3 and the Consumer Electronics Show, of all the things that are coming relatively soon a bunch of the things that are coming relatively soon to the PlayStation console. Now, Dean, I know you've seen bits and bites of it.
I have seen bits and bites, but I haven't seen all of it. Bearing in mind, I live in England, and I believe this showcase was going on throughout my night, so Mr. Tasker will have seen it more than I have, and Mr. Fraser, if he was actually watching it, would have seen a lot more than we did.
Yeah. So for those of you who want to know, it is available on YouTube if you want to see it, which if you're a fan of games coming in 2022, I will highly recommend. We are going to do the Cliff Notes version here. Gentlemen, I'm going to tell you a bunch of the games that are there. If you want to speculate for our viewers of any of them, and whether or not they are something that you guys are interested in personally, please feel free. This is pretty well a gamer's paradise, except for one giant issue that we will get into when we are pretty well done with this whole
Yeah.
Fantastic thing.
There is pretty much one probably two games that we all three are looking forward to. Pretty much.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But to start off with something that I am looking forward to, the very first trailer they showed was a reveal trailer for Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, I have seen that.
Now there's no release date. It was just an announcement trailer. Let's not get too hyped up, but it is done by I'm not sure if it's the original KOTOR team, but one of the original KOTOR studios, Aspire, and it's being done through Lucasfilm. It is Knights of the Old Republic remake, and it is coming to PlayStation 5. Dean, are you as excited as I am?
To be fair, I absolutely loved Force Unleashed. I never did play any of the older Star Wars games, whether they be on PC or PlayStation. But I do know one thing: I still want another Force Unleashed game, which I will never ever get, and I can blame Disney for that. So as far as Knights of the Old Republic goes, am I excited? Very quietly excited. However, this is really the big one for me. Is it being done by EA?
That one I'm not sure about because the publisher itself wasn't announced.
Well, the only thing is Star Wars. EA actually, if I seem to remember correctly, EA has the license to make Star Wars games because they made Battlefront. They made Fallen Order, and I know that because Fallen Order is now on EA Play. Yep. So unless there's been something gone down that we don't know about, I would pretty much base my movie reputation on the fact that will be made by EA.
It makes sense. The Aspire has been known to port a lot of things for EA, so it makes sense. I do know in terms of Star Wars fans who are fans of action RPGs set in the Star Wars universe, this is something that we've been wanting for a very long time. So I guess it all depends on how faithful they make it.
If they make it faithful, it'll be as popular as anything. It'll probably be more popular than Grand Theft Auto still is.
Among Star Wars fans, absolutely.
Just a question though: is Knights of the Old Republic the best Star Wars game ever?
In terms of an RPG, yes. It is one of, if not the best Star Wars games ever. If you're looking at overall, that depends highly on who you talk to. There are people who are fans of Super Star Wars. Obviously, KOTOR's got a fan base. The original Star Wars Battlefront has got a real big fan base.
Yeah, I'm not one of them.
Yeah, Shadows of the Empire. There are people who still want Star Wars 1313, for God's sake. Star Wars is a massive thing. Jedi Fallen Order is really good.
It is good. I've actually played it. Yes, that's with the disc copy. I have actually got the disc copy.
Yep.
And I did actually buy it from a proper retailer. I didn't just buy it from any old schmuck. So yeah, I do actually enjoy it. The only thing is this is me as a gamer in general, I don't want something that's going to be absolutely too hard to play. So something that just involves a certain level of button bashing, that's fair. Like buttons come on screen, press it, that's fine. I can deal with that. But I don't want something like, say, Alien Isolation that's going to take about nearly the rest of my life to complete. Because Alien Isolation is probably one of the worst games ever. Not in the sense that it's not good, because it is. It's just so frustrating. It really is. Anyone who's played Alien Isolation will know what I mean by it and will have experienced it.
Fraser, anything to add to the KOTOR announcement?
I'm really hyped for Knights of the Old Republic. I played the first two on the Xbox.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited because those were some of the best Star Wars games. And I'm also hoping, since you mentioned Shadow of the Empire, that we get a return of Dash Randar. Because it's been long overdue.
Yeah, it has been.
Actually, Fraser, since you're a comic book encyclopedia, can you recommend any Star Wars comic books or novels to get people who haven't played Knights of the Old Republic in touch with what they might be getting?
Well, they could always read Obi-Wan and Anakin. They could always read the current Star Wars comics. They could always read the current Darth Vader run on the comic books. they could always read the old school Star Wars series. Interesting enough, before the first Star Wars movie came out, they did a comic for it, and the lightsabers weren't blue or green; they were like this magenta color. Since at that time they didn't see like what the lightsaber colors would be when they were writing it.
There was moving on. Project Eve. There was an extended trailer for it. And honestly, I thought it was Bayonetta at first just because of the sword play and the general motif of it. Honestly, I did not catch too much of Project Eve. For those Project Eve fans, I am terribly sorry. But the biggest one, have either of you played either Borderlands 2 or Borderlands 3?
I'm gonna disappoint a lot of fans and say no, but I do have them in my collection from PS Plus.
Okay.
I played Borderlands 2.
Fraser, do you know a character by the name of Tiny Tina?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And I'm going to ask this very simple question. Do either of you play or know Dungeons and Dragons at all?
Yes, I do.
Do I know D&D? Do I know D&D? That's actually a hard question. Does Joe Manganiello know D&D?
Ooh, so obviously
Does Kevin Smith know D&D?
So obviously no.
Nah.
So for Michael, Fraser, and Dean's benefit, March 25th, 2022, Tinytinas Wonderlands by Gearbox and 2K releases. It's simple. It's an extended version of a DLC that was basically around Tiny Tina. It's basically Dungeons and Dragons set in the Borderlands universe with Borderlands gunplay, a world of Tiny Tina's creation. I am so looking forward to it just because of the characterization of it. The trailer itself, bright, colorful, and guns. Lots and lots of guns.
That's going to be awesome.
I might have to start playing Borderlands to get me in sync with it.
Yeah, just so that you can get into the world of it. March 25th, 2022. So excited. Borderlands gameplay. Tiny Tina is beloved in that fandom, and for good reason. And this is the perfect thing in order for those Tiny Tina fans to get their fill. March 25th, 2022. I've talked to a bunch of my friends. That is honestly one of the high points of the actual presentation itself. Another high point for me, unless do any of you want to say anything about Tiny Tina's Wonderlands? Like, did you know about this?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I saw a clip on TikTok of just like her rolling dice, but I thought that was just like from one of the previous games.
Oh no, it's new, it's real, and it's going to be hopefully spectacular.
And I thought you were gonna channel your inner Kurt Angle there, Nathan.
Oh no, I'm not gonna go. It's true, it's damn true. I don't know. Like, we have to have integrity. We have to wait until the game is out on March 25th, 2022. Then, if Fraser or I or you get it, we can be the judge of it.
Yeah. By the way, before we carry on, have you literally barred Hunter and Vince from the building this week?
Oh, on this podcast, you bet your ass. Video games, come on.
I bet.
Well, what do they know about it? Honestly.
Yeah, that's true. Vince does not know anything. Hunter might have a bit of an idea, but I know Vince doesn't.
Next up, it's a game called Forspoken. It's by Square Enix and Luminous Productions. It looks to be running off of the Final Fantasy 15 Luminous engine. Which I don't know. Which, I mean, you both have played Final Fantasy 15. Looks gorgeous. Stars a woman named Asuka, and she's basically in this fantasy world. She woke up into it. Honestly, when I looked at it, I'm like, okay, Square Enix doing Hogwarts, please and thank you. But you can you see a bunch of dragons, other fantasy elements. And she gets trapped there. She's talking to a cuff that is somehow sentient, and that cuff gives her the ability to do telekinesis. It looks to be somewhat destructive, the world. So I am super excited for Spoken and basically the Hogwarts universe. I don't know if either of you are interested in Forspoken at all, but that is coming out sometime in spring 2022. But the next announcement, I know will get one of you super excited, and that is Tom Clancy Rainbow Six Extraction,
Right.
aka
Go on, carry on, and then I'll have my say.
aka Dean's favorite game of all time. We did not get much of a trailer for it, or any sort of announcement for it, or any sort of gameplay changes for it, or anything relating to content at all. But I can tell you, January 2022, Dean, you've been complaining about Rainbow Six both off and on camera for months now. How excited are you for this new Tom Clancy?
No, I'm not. I'll explain why. Because this, to be fair, I don't know if you guys actually have played Colonial Marines.
No, I haven't.
That game was on and off for 5 years. Basically, we're bringing it out, never bought out 5 years later, and I'm going to say this with a little bit of dignity in my heart. I actually pre-ordered it because obviously I'm a big Aliens fan. I was super stoked for it. Let's just say I couldn't have been more disappointed, and a lot of people who actually bought it on pre-order were also disappointed. Now, this was supposed to be released during the pandemic. Well, when the pandemic was on. I think it was supposed to be released in May last year, something like that. It's been put back. It was meant to be released about this time, I think it was, because they wanted to make everything better. They put a lot of titles back. I mean, Far Cry 6 was also at this, wasn't it? Yeah, that was put back as well. And in a whole lot of Ubisoft projects were put back about a year because Ubi wanted them, apparently, this is what I've heard anyway, Ubisoft wanted to make them as good as they can be. Now, the only problem, there is a lot of problems with what Extraction is. Extraction actually came from a seasonal event called Outbreak, which I absolutely loved, and I think a lot of the Siege community loved. Now, what Extraction is basically a bigger version of Outbreak. But with all due respect, I would not pay however much it is just to get a bit of something that came in the world in a seasonal event, which will more than likely end up being even worse than what it should actually be. Don't get me wrong, I do like the idea of every single op, defender and attacker, working together. There's a lot right with it. I do like the idea that if a operator falls or is near enough dead that you have to go and rescue them. I do like that. All the villains that I've seen, all the aliens I've seen are basic. A lot of them are from Outbreak, but at the same time, if I said to you, right, there's going to be like a a spin-off from NBA 2K series, depending on what it was, would you pay £60 or 80 Canadian dollars for it?
It depends on how fully fleshed out the game itself is.
At this point in time, I don't think there's much. As far as pre-ordering goes, it's about, I don't know if it's about £60, but that's how much it was. That's how much it was being considered. A lot of Siege community went apeshit when they saw how much it was. A lot of them were saying, so £60 for a bigger season event, no thanks. And I was like, right, I've wanted to come out with this. I wanted this game to come out last year. I wanted it to come out when they said they were going to release it. Now they're releasing it next year. And if I'm being brutally honest, even if I did want to buy it, I wouldn't, because I've not played Siege in 2.5 months because I played it last season and it just absolutely was ruined for me. The game is absolutely broken. It's running an Assassin's Creed engine that's 6.5 years old. Every single time they fix something, they make something else worse. There's no end of exploits, and to be honest with you, I really don't like Ubisoft simply because they care more about profit margins than actual customer service. Because I don't know if there is anybody who follows Siege listening to this, but was it? I think it. Oh, who was it? One of the Siege pros who basically emailed a Ubisoft dev, and was it? It wasn't Goga. It wasn't Kento. Oh, who was it? Siege community. If there's any Siege community members now, they're going to murder me for not knowing his name. Let me just have a look. He used to play on one of the pro teams. Let me just have a look for 2 minutes. If anyone's listening, go and make yourself a cup of tea, because by the time that's done, I'll have got whoever it is.
All right. While we are on that topic, while you're waiting, I will also mention there is 2 projects. One looks like to be a VR experience from Epic Games. The other one is Alan Wake Remastered. Fraser, I don't know if you've played Alan Wake. I haven't. Dean hasn't. But apparently a fantastic game for the Xbox, now coming to all platforms. That is coming in 2022. Grand Theft Auto 5 is being renewed for another console generation. The only thing I have in my notes is love Trevor, but isn't this a bit much? March 2022, sorry. Really? And Uncharted 4 is getting a remaster for PS5 and PC, also available in early 2022. There is a pattern here, and it is very, very scary. Nosferatu, aka Vampire Bloodhunt, aka Vampire the Masquerade Next Gen. It's a online game. It's a combination of a shooter mixed with some sort of Assassin's Creed elements. Coming to PS5, it has just launched on PC, and there is Ocean Interactive Deathloop. It is starring a person by the name of Colt who gets messages from the future, past, etc. On a basically to try to fix a time loop where it's just reliving the same day over and over and over again. It comes out actually in 2 days on September 14th, 2021. Finally, the other thing that I can really just quickly get into while Dean has got 2 minutes, it is a game called Takia. It is basically starring a little girl who's in a beach tribal setting. It's pretty well based. The way I look at it, Fraser, it's Moana mixed with Mario Odyssey. In that Takia can use her powers of nature, whatever, to transform into animals to do various tasks, similar to the Cappy mechanic from Mario Odyssey. There also appears to be some sort of Legend of Zelda Ocarina-inspired minigame with it. Super excited for it. Dean, how are you doing? Because
found it.
You found it? Perfect.
Yep. So Pengu is an esports. He's basically a pro player who has won the six Masters, which is basically Siege's version of the Champions League. And I've actually got his tweet here. This is from one day ago. It says, got blocked by the Ubi developer who I go to regarding HUD bugs because I was tweeted out about they don't communicate between departments. He's put in brackets, lead dev was DM'd regarding HUD bug 3 weeks ago, but HUD UI guy was never informed. Now I can't DM him about the 10 UI bugs I found. Unlucky. So if that basically says why you shouldn't invest in a Rainbow Six game, then quite frankly, I don't know what you want me to say.
Did you say Pengu?
Pengu.
Like, when you say Pengu, I think of
yeah. But to be fair, there's Pengu, there's Goga, there's Fabian, there's Shaiko. Yes, there is. They have I prefer to think of them as code names. But Bolo's one of my best one. He's actually one of the best players there is.
Now I'm just imagining Pengu being like, as he's running down the field, kicking the ball.
Yeah, exactly. But to be fair, everyone's got to come up with a name, really, haven't they?
Okay, well, crap, we hit him, but we hit him in the mouth again. Shoot.
So yeah, my advice: I am not excited for Extraction, and if you want to be brutally honest, I've played out. You're better off asking Ubisoft to bring back Outbreak for however many weeks it is. But aside from that, I am not bothered about Extraction. I will not be buying it, and Ubisoft will not be taking my money because I would rather spend the £30 that I said I wouldn't buy on Season Pass for Aliens Fireteam. I'd rather spend it on that.
Alrighty. The final thing in the list of other smaller announcements, Kid A Messiah. It's an experience by Radiohead and Epic Games. Is coming to PlayStation 5 in November 2021. We don't. Yes, Radiohead. Now we don't know much about it. It was a 15-second trailer, just announcing Kid A Messiah, Radiohead, and Epic Games, the collaboration. So I'm wondering if it is some sort of either playable song, playable VR experience, or what it is. All I know is that it's coming to PlayStation 5 November 2021.
It said nothing.
Yeah, it was a 15-second trailer. It was just like a bridge between two bigger projects, both of which I can get into now. The first one was a project called Ghostwire. It's set in Tokyo, Japan. Beautiful Tokyo. You play as I believe some sort of teenager as he's walking through the streets. All of a sudden, like big buildings get taken over by this Jigsaw-esque looking character. It is first person. I'm not sure if it's a first person shooter or first person survival, but I highly recommend, if you're interested in sort of a combination of action and survival horror, at least watch the trailer of it, because the environment of it looks absolutely amazing.
So say survival horror meets action. So basically what you're saying is it's kind of like Watch Dogs Legion, or maybe even, what was that? We'll say Watch Dogs and Resident Evil, or even Silent Hill.
Like that. That's the vibe I got from it. It depends on how powerful the main character is to go ahead of it. But now we're getting into the stuff that we actually will care about as a threesome.
That sounded so bad there.
I know, right? But that's what I do. So we got a major story update from Marvel and Eidos Montreal's Guardians of the Galaxy game.
I have seen that.
Which has
so great.
Yeah, it's coming out October 2021. Do you want to talk more about it, Dean, or does Fraser want to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy anymore?
Obviously, my comic lore isn't as big as Fraser's, as everyone knows. Graphically, it looks brilliant. I will say that it looks brilliant. I'm not quite sure, Fraser, if it could be based on anything, because obviously you know more about Guardians of the Galaxy than I do. But would I be up for buying it? I'd say possibly. It just depends what exactly they're going for with it. Fraser, this is your cue to actually say if it might be based on something you know.
Honestly, if anything, they tend to do original stories for half these games. They'll probably mix and match stuff like Annihilation Wave or stuff from Brian Michael Bendis' run. So
it is based around the cult, if that means anything.
You realize how many cults there are in Marvel?
No, but then again,
amount of cults. There's even the Illuminati's even made up of some of the main Marvel heroes. Like that's how messed up Marvel is when it comes to cults.
All right, then let's put it this way: do you know of any cults that could possibly be featured in a Guardians of the Galaxy
game? Probably not.
No. By the way, Nathan, I have actually seen the trailer for that. Does that cult leader kind of remind you of the Collector at all?
Just a bit, but I honestly I didn't know what to think of it. I was hoping that Fraser could fill us in a little bit more, Mr. Comic Book Encyclopedia. But
I haven't watched the trailer. I'd actually have to watch the trailer first, since there's like a multitude of characters.
Yeah, so. And there are There are I just have it in my notes here. Finally, a 2021 release game, because it and Deathloop are around the only things that I could see that PlayStation is touting for 2021. And as a PlayStation owner, that scares me. Next up, we got a reveal trailer for a Insomniac game. There's no release date given. But it involves a lovely time in a lovely bar, where I'm assuming patrons pay their tab and nobody ticks off the man with the adamantium claws.
Yeah, nobody even dares raise a glass bottle to this man with adamantium claws, and was it a bit of grey hair as well?
You know what? I mean, maybe a little bit, but I'm going to give benefit of the doubt until we see more. It's an announcement trailer. It's by Insomniac, who are quickly becoming PS5's MVPs at this point.
They're quickly becoming, they're becoming the PS5 version, becoming the PlayStation version of Bethesda.
MVP. PlayStation 5 exclusive Wolverine. And I don't know, because we were just given an announcement trailer, because we were given no release date. Mr. Fraser, do you believe that, we've been given the developer, we've been given no release date. Mr. Fraser, do you believe that, this game could hold any legs, or what sort of story would you want them to do? Not that you imagine that they'll take from the comics, but what would you imagine them to do? And do you want this to tie into the Spider-Man game universe? Because I think that would just be really cool.
Which game?
Wolverine.
Before he answers,
interesting enough,
we should just point out that we don't want these. Yeah. I'm going to say, because I have actually read somewhere that somebody, I can't remember who it is, actually wants this to be actually more close to Spider-Man than Marvel's The Avengers, because a lot of people, they even had a Marvel's Avengers free weekend. I didn't even bother with it, because I looked at it and I thought, but the minute you say to me Insomniac games, I am there. Pretty much like the minute Vincent Kennedy McMahon sees a very attractive woman, he's there. So I'm even more there than Vince McMahon already is. And sorry, Fraser, I just wanted to get that out. So I do apologize for that.
It's cool. Actually, the interesting thing is, when Insomniac Games has done stuff, they actually release comics built into the universe. So I would like to see Wolverine get linked up into the game, because if they are able to build a really cohesive in-game universe of all the Avengers, all the different Marvel heroes, it could be a lot of fun for a lot of people. So I would love to see it tied in.
But which one? To Spider-Man or to Marvel's The Avengers? Bearing in mind, I don't even know off the top of my head who did.
Keep in mind, I do. That was Square Enix and Deep Silver.
I would rather link to Spider-Man. The Avengers, the Avengers game was okay. I liked the story, but they could have done so much more with the game. I would have just given it to Insomniac Games to do when it involves the Avengers, because they've been doing nothing but solid work.
Yeah. Obviously, we had an announced trailer, so we can't really say too much because we don't know that much. But do you know what I really love to see?
PS5 exclusive.
Do you want to know what I really would like to see, gentlemen?
What would you like to see?
You know when Ryan Reynolds has always had this insane wish to do a Deadpool Wolverine team up with Hugh Jackman? Now, I seem to remember Mr. Reynolds has been begging for a Wolverine Deadpool team up, but he hasn't exactly specified over which media he wants to do it.
Oh,
please have Jackman and Deadpool voice, and please, this would be my Christmas wish of this year. Please have Deadpool in this game, and then have Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, voice Wolverine and Deadpool respectively. Then Reynolds gets his wish, and then we can carry on the feud even more than it's already going on now. In fact, that gives me an idea. Actually, let me tweet this. Carry on, boys. I'm just going to go and see if I can get.
Take your time. Take your time. So we've only got 3 more items to really talk about. The first one being, I guess, God of War Ragnarok. It is the big showing of the PlayStation game. It was originally supposed to come out in 2021 because of the global pandemic. It is now delayed to spring 2022. It continues on with the Norse duology of the latest God of War by Sony Santa Monica. Features Kratos and Atreus. I'm not sure if they're going to be attempting to prevent Ragnarok with the help of Tyr, but I do know that the game looks absolutely fantastic. More of the same, out for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 in 2022. And finally, I don't know which of your wet dreams to start with.
Start with Fraser's.
I really truly don't. Okay, Fraser. There is one game also being done by Insomniac. It is 2023. There are rumors, but the rumors are true. Bill Goldberg is going to be in this game. I'm sure of it this time. And it is Spider-Man 2. I know you've seen the trailer. I know you've seen Peter and Miles. I know you've seen Venom. But where do you think Bill Goldberg is going to fit into this story?
Nowhere.
He could actually be motion capture behind Venom, you know.
Who's the developer
also, that Guardians of the Galaxy thing, that church thing's pretty obscure. It's pretty much like around either the Gold and Silver Age, and pretty much the church, if I recall, pretty much the leader follows Magnus, which is formerly Adam Warlock, so it's pretty obscure. I had to look at the trailer.
Insomniac Games.
Yeah. So anyway, Fraser, I know you've seen the trailer for this one. I know you've seen Spider-Man 2. Walk us through it, because you're going to do it far more justice than I ever could.
All right, we get a pretty hyped narration. We see Peter and Miles double teaming people, and then they end up turning. And you just see like the entire alleyways like blacked out as slowly we see Venom come into view. And I am hyped. Narration, I'm really hoping it's going to be Kraven, because I would love to see what they would do with Kraven, especially if they pull inspiration from like Kraven's Last Hunt.
Yes. Well, Kraven himself. Well, think about a Kraven Venom team up to go up against Peter and Miles. Kraven in himself is just such a perfect character for Insomniac to play with.
Sorry, gents. Can I just read this tweet out?
Oh, God, yes, please.
At Insomniac Games, please tell me that Deadpool is in #Wolverine PS5. If so, please get Van City Reynolds, which is Ryman's Twitter handle, and at Real Hugh Jackman, which is obviously Hugh Jackman's one, to voice Deadpool if he's in it on Wolverine. I'll do a Nathan at the end and say, please God, make this happen.
Yes, it has to. So basically, this is coming out in 2023. And as I was saying before, Kraven is the perfect character to play with, to Insomniac strengths. You see what they did with Herman Lee and Negative Man. You see what they've done with the symbiote virus. What could they do with a Kraven and Venom team up to take down Spider-Man and, of course, Miles? Who knows?
But then again, Venom's the anti-hero, isn't he? So there's no saying he could be a villain. But I do know one thing, that I did tell you about this before we went on air. I haven't told Fraser this. And I think Fraser's going to be quite chuffed when I tell him who they've actually got to voice Venom. This is from what I hear. I'm not saying it's true, but this is what I've heard. Come on, Fraser. This is the point where you say, so who is it?
No.
Why?
Yeah, why?
No.
No?
No,
Why?
It's not. It's
because
not a
usually
troll.
this leads into
It's
something bad.
it's not a troll. It's not a troll.
I don't
Fine,
think this
who
is
is
a troll.
it?
Tony Todd.
Get the frig out. No freaking way.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to send. This is where I've actually heard it from, because I actually was going to put
Tony Todd, like the Tony Todd we're talking.
the Tony Todd. Right, let me
That
just
is
copy that.
actually the perfect casting.
Hey, guess what? It's not just Dean who is confirming it. I just want to see if it's for somebody a little bit more.
Right, Fraser, I put my link in the group chat. Go and have a look.
Okay, I found it.
Yep,
I'm on IMDb and I found it. That is the perfect casting, actually.
Aside from our producer, who first said, when I mentioned they've got the perfect voice to play Venom, and she's like, Tom Hardy's Venom? No. Oh, God. But, mate, I have never been so chuffed for a voice cast than I have this one. Bearing in mind, those who don't know, he actually voiced Zoom in... It was Flash Season 2, wasn't it, Fraser?
I think so.
Yeah, he's been... Obviously, he's more renowned for Candyman. He's been in... what else has he been in? He's been in Final Destination. Basically, this guy is horror royalty. He's royalty, loyalty, Hall of Fame. Basically, you do not spit on the name of Tony Todd. You respect that name. And to be honest with you, even if I wasn't psyched for it, by just looking at it, the mere mention that I have found out that one of the best horror guys ever to have come into the genre is voicing one of my favorite Marvel characters. I am beyond chuffed. I really am. You could not. I don't know if there's any way Insomniac could make this any more than it already is, but oh my God. Right. In the words of the old famous gif, right, take my money now. I'm already sold on it. I don't care how much I've got to pay, whether it's 60 quid, 70 quid, 80 quid. You give me Tony Todd, I will give you my bloody money right now.
And I guess finally the last announcement that we have to go over is Gran Turismo 7.
I've never really been a big fan of the Gran Turismos. I do know that, in fact, Gran Turismo is actually, is it the 25th year anniversary?
Actually, it might be in 2022. Hang on just a second here. Gran Turismo, when did you start? But it is coming March 4th, 2022. And it is incredibly sexy. And Dean, you are right. In 2022, it will be the 25th anniversary.
I thought it was because the very first one came out when I was in I think it was year 9 or something like that, year 8. But it's still amazing to think it's still going. But to be fair, it's even more shocking that GTA 5 is still going, and that's been out decades.
Well, GTA 5 has been out since 2013.
Exactly.
Just grossed $1 billion for Rockstar. I don't think it's going anywhere.
Exactly.
And like I say, I have it in my notes. Is it too much? Who knows? But with Gran Turismo though, you got that constant break from it. It's not constantly there.
It's not like Call of Duty or F1 every single year. You get a couple of years break from it. Yep. Although, if I'm being brutally honest, I don't think we need 3 years breaks between Spider-Man games. We need it yearly.
But at the same time,
it's not the same game every year, is it? There's more to it. It doesn't matter whether it's the Arkham series, whether it's, Spider-Man. There's always something new. The one request, I know we've moved on to Gran Turismo, but the one thing I really wish for Spider-Man 2 more than anything is I don't want it to fall into the level of absurdity that the first one did. Because when you kicked every single crook's ass, you did all the missions, did the all story, basically your city was still full of stuff that needed to be saved when, frankly, you'd saved it all already. That's probably the one bad thing that I actually have with Spider-Man. And if there is any DLC afterwards, please do not sell it for a tenner a pop. Put it in a season pass or something like that. Don't sell it separately. That's just a waste.
I kind of would like them to incorporate stuff from the Spider-Man 2 game, though. Like you're web slinging through the city and then like accidents are happening and you're leaping in to save the day besides just stopping crimes.
Yeah, just as long as when you actually finish the game, then obviously you could finish off. So if you hadn't done any side missions, you could do that. But that would be it. I mean, even the Arkham franchise, yeah, they still had more ones you could beat up. But if you did all the missions, that was it. You just literally, the only thing you would do now is just beat up all the crooks that were there. That's sort of what I want from this game. I don't want it to be just such a case of when you do new game, you do game, then you do new game plus, and then you've still got bloody stuff to do, even if you've already done it. That's probably the one thing I would ask for Insomniac to do.
Yeah, but it's going to be huge regardless.
Mate, Tony Todd's in that. Everyone will want that. Hell, I would go so far as to say anybody who loved his portrayal of Zoom in The Flash and they're DC fans, they would probably pick up that game just for that. But don't quote my comic book reputation. Can we quote Fraser's comic book reputation on it?
Sure, let's quote Fraser's comic book reputation. Why not?
But again, Fraser, it's not as if you're going to have a competition where you give away a mystery comic book and it turns out to be something from One More Day.
No, we would never think about doing that.
Nah, not even for April Fools.
No, of course
not. Not that mean.
Although, if the fans want to see it, though, I mean, we are a podcast for the people.
Indeed.
How dare you?
Because I mean,
how horrible the choice you all chose. How dare you mention Tony Todd in the same breath, you monsters?
I'm just saying, we are a podcast for the people. If enough people would want to see the One More Day contest, then I mean,
yeah, don't forget. Also, they must hashtag it. Michael Fraser, please sign my One More Day comic book.
I'm pretty sure if you can get out to British Columbia, that Fraser would be more than happy to meet some of our fans.
Yeah,
sign their work and talk to them about comics, but sign their work. Mention Bill Goldberg or Vince McMahon and get a special.
Also get someone to say that WWE is the best wrestling business in the business, which to be fair, it's not. And Fraser will probably usher you to the back of the queue for saying such a thing.
Yeah, you'll get a special treat from Fraser. If you want to do it. If not, then don't worry about it.
And if you find Dean in England, make sure you tell him about how much you love Adam Sandler, and he'll check.
Here we go. Oh, Fraser, every single week.
Oh my goodness!
You come up with Adam Sandler. Oh my god, mate!
Oh, it's a video game special. Spider-Man is in a video game. It's on topic. Bill Goldberg and Vince McMahon are in countless WWE games. Yeah. We're keeping it on topic, and now Adam Sandler. I can't think of a single game that Adam Sandler has done. Although
every single game publisher knows better than to cast someone as shit as Adam Sandler.
Technically, he did do a video game movie. Dean's favorite movie.
Which is
you're right, Pixels.
Oh my god.
Dean's favorite movie.
Fraser,
Dean loves talking about it on and off camera. Like, chat him up when you see him.
Fraser, I love you severely like a brother, but you are in danger of crossing a very blasphemous line, sir.
Really? And
it's not a video game movie. It's shit.
Worst comic book.
It's
and that's what One More Day is.
God awful.
That's what One More Day is. So you feel my pain, and you can't.
No, I don't, because I would actually look at One More Day and actually feel something. I look at an Adam Sandler movie
and I just think, oh my God, I need to go to the toilet because I can't shit myself out of this.
But then you do feel something, Dean. I'm sorry, you do feel something. It's pain.
No. One More Day, I would actually look at, and not actually be as judgmental as Fraser is. I look at anything with Adam Sandler, and I immediately say, "Fuck off." I would rather do a Val Venus and have my gentleman's sausage chopped off with a samurai sword than watch an Adam Sandler movie.
I'm gonna hold you to that, Dean. This audio is proof. We are gonna hold you to that now.
No.
I actually know. To be honest with you, I actually know someone who has a samurai sword. Actually.
Oh my God, no, Fraser, no. Fraser.
Hold on a minute, Fraser. We don't ask you to have your reputation on the line.
You literally just asked. You literally, when you're talking about the Spider-Man game, you literally just said it.
No, we have never, ever, ever made you put your reputation on the line, ever.
You literally just did, like, this
audio is we never asked you to.
This whole
we have never asked you to.
Oh my goodness.
Nathan, have we ever asked him to put his reputation on the line before?
But if you really want to learn about One More Day, Lankara has done a video. Actually,
he posted it in our Facebook chat. You're telling me that he doesn't love One More Day.
I hate One More Day, but Dean's Dean's gonna watch it, come back on the podcast next week, and he's gonna talk about it now.
Oh my God. No, he's actually posted it in the Facebook chat. You know what? I'm with him. It's Linkara just abridging One More Day as much as he can. But Dean, it's in our Facebook group chat. But to get this back on topic,
just one more thing. Someone has actually gone out of their way and spent at least an hour and 20 minutes going on about how bad One More Day is.
Yep.
Fraser, we only need Fraser to do that for 120 seconds. In fact, how much swearing could Michael Fraser put into however many sentences it takes to describe One More Day in 120 seconds?
It is horrendous.
It is.
Oh man, I don't know where I'd start on this. They had Peter Parker do the most un-Peter Parker thing, and Peter Parker would do. There's a whole lot of issues, and it's all because they wanted to get him back to being single. And then we went through the whole, New Day arc and everything, and 3 different Spider-Man writers, and then all those writers got burnt out writing Spider-Man, except for one writer who ended up writing Spider-Man longer than any other Spider-Man writer in existence, which led to Amazing Spider-Man 700, Superior Spider-Man, Spider-Verse.
Now, by the way, Nathan, just while Mr. Fraser's enjoying himself a bit too much with his comic book encyclopedia-ness, is there anything else regarding games that we need to say?
Not in terms of the news, but there is a topic that I want to say, because all I wanted to do was just brief everybody on the PlayStation Showcase. But there's an alarming trend, at least this year, with gaming. When I look at gaming across all 3 major platforms, I see Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I see Mario Party on the Switch. For 2021, I see Halo Infinite on the Xbox Series X. And for PlayStation, I don't see, a big exclusive, a big reason to buy PlayStation 5. We were originally supposed to have God of War to fill that spot.
Yeah.
But essentially the global pandemic has pretty well, at least in my opinion, sort of ruined the 2021 holiday season for me. But I mean, outside of a couple of odd games here and there, I know I'm going to try to pick up the new NHL at some point in time.
Yeah.
But I don't, me personally, I don't see a lot of games in 2021. And for the newer consoles that are out, the PlayStation 5 and the Series X or Series S.
Well,
do you consider that to be a problem?
Not yet. I mean, just because we haven't seen anything doesn't mean there isn't something for everyone. I mean, Back for Blood is coming out. I think it's either this month or next month, which if you like Left 4 Dead, then your quid's in. Extraction's coming out next year, but like I said, I wouldn't even bother with it. Fireteam's out now. I'm loving it. If you can look beyond a lot of the flaws with it and look at all the goodies that you get, I mean, all the DLC's free, absolutely free. They're not going to charge you 15 quid for any additional DLC. It's a game that's got stupidly longevity on it if you actually want a game like that. As far as anything else goes, there's new Call of Duty in November, but to be fair, it's a World War II game. It'll leave you more depressed than when you started playing it. Because I've played World at War. I actually have WW2 from PS Plus, and it's honestly all World War II games so depressing. It makes me wish that Call of Duty would go back into science fiction, more advanced warfare, mind you, not so much in Infinite Warfare, because Infinite Warfare should have killed Call of Duty as a whole, but it's somehow still going on. To be honest with you, I don't really know of anything else that's coming out this year yet, but at this time, we said Guardians of the Galaxy is coming out this year.
Yep.
I'd have to have a look at it and maybe try it or share play with someone before I actually bought it. Like I said, I've already bought Fireteam. To be fair, I've bought F1. That's a yearly thing. That's got enough stuff on it to keep you going all year round. By the way, if anyone does have F1 2021, I should just point this out. Judging by the tweets that the official F1 Codemasters Twitter account's been doing, Portimao, which is one of the circuits on the calendar for this year that wasn't included last year, it is coming because they've been spelling out Portimao in various tweets. So pit stop would obviously, first one would be Port, then we take the O from Esteban Ocon. So with the updates that come every Monday, Portimao is coming. So when Portimao comes, then obviously Imola will follow, and then the new Saudi Arabia street circuit at Jeddah, which basically looks like a carving knife, will come as well. So, to be honest with you, as far as I'm concerned, I'm a bit of a, what's the word you would describe me to, gentlemen? Because basically I enjoy playing the same 3 games or 2 games over and over again. But it doesn't mean I'm not open to trying more stuff, but I'm just set in my ways because I have 2 games to keep me going. If there's something else that comes out, I'll play that.
Yeah. I like that is a good point. And I know we did not go over everything that is coming out in 2021. I know
you saw a lot of it, but like I said, it was like going on when I was in bed.
Yeah, like that is basically the PlayStation Showcase announcements in a nutshell, or the gameplay in a nutshell. And I'm sorry it was rather abridged, but there wasn't much of gameplay being shown for a lot of these, and a lot of them are coming out in early 2022. So,
or in Spider-Man's case, coming out in 2023.
Yeah, or in
hopefully, boys, the option of buying it Christmas next year. We hope. Insomniac, please make all our Christmases come true at once.
Oh, man.
The funny thing is, when I got the first Spider-Man game, it was the same week my son was born.
Oh, Fraser. So does that mean you're going to have a baby number 3 when Spider-Man 2 comes out?
Jesse made it clear there are no more children. No more. 2
I don't know, viewers. Do we think that Mr. Fraser should have another son or daughter to commemorate Spider-Man 2's upcoming release?
You know what? I'm going to put this in the chat, and at some point, Jesse's going to answer this. Since you all want to put it out there, you can hear it from her.
Well, technically, you brought it up, so it doesn't mean to expand on it. But hey, mate, wouldn't it be a bit of a coincidence? Wouldn't it be a bit more of a coincidence if a second Spider-Man game came out and you had another child? Well, not you, but Jesse.
Okay, if you have another child and it turns out to be a boy, can you please call it Jonah?
Oh, God, no.
Failing that, can you please call it Jameson?
No.
Call it JJ.
No. That's the name of Tommy Oliver's son.
And?
You think about it.
I'm not having any more kids.
Think about it. It's a link to Power Rangers and the MCU. And hell, for his middle name, could call him Alfred. That way he links to DC as well.
Yeah.
No.
JJ Alfred
what
Fraser.
We're basically painting the picture of. What we're basically painting the picture of is the guy who's the kid who's going to get absolutely slammed by every single member of the comic book community. No. It's not looking about. I don't think we're really putting the prospect of it's actually a good idea in his head very well, though, Nathan, are we?
You know what I want to see? I want Nathan to go to comic conventions dressed as Jonah Jameson and just go up to every Spider-Man cosplayer and just go off.
Hey, that would actually be a good idea.
That'd be fun. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be a lot of fun. But in all honesty, you're right, Dean. We haven't gone through everything in the place. Like, we haven't gone through anything or everything. We went through the PlayStation Showcase. I do know there are other games coming out. There's Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, for example, which is
Lucian's kind of game.
It is Lucian's kind of game. It's a mix between Nickelodeon characters, some from the 1990s, and Super Smash Bros.
Mate.
What?
I would buy the Lord that for Christmas.
And the developers are doing pretty well everything they can to make it competitively viable. So they've got wave dashes in the game and a lot of other things that the Smash Bros community have been asking for in the Smash Bros game that was taken out of Melee are back in Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. It's very similar to Smash Bros mechanically. Looks to be a lot of fun. And if the price is right and if they get voice acting in it, my God, there are things from my childhood in there. I might look at getting it.
It would be nice if they reunited all the original voice actors for it.
Well, all the original living ones. And plus, it means you get Tim Curry in a video game.
Oh, because I just want Danny Phantom in it.
I think Danny Phantom's been announced, dude.
Nice.
I'll have to get you the roster, but there's Invader Zim and Gurr. Helga's there from Hey Arnold. Got a couple of Louds from the Loud House, SpongeBob and Patrick. Sandy Cheeks, obviously.
By the way, you know who you could put in this if Nickelodeon actually felt ballsy? All the characters played by Ariana Grande's been on it. Victoria Justice has been in Nickelodeon, I believe.
It's animated characters.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can still put them in animation. Mate, you made SpongeBob live action, remember? Anything's possible.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I don't think they're going to do that simply because live action Nickelodeon and animated Nickelodeon are two different entities with two completely different fan bases.
Well, to be fair, anybody who's played Fortnite knows there was an Ariana Grande concert about 3-4 weeks ago, so anything's possible.
Oh yeah, I can find that, but yeah, if you get Tim Curry in a video game, I would be.
My sister will buy it.
Yeah. But with that being said, the global pandemic has finally hit the video game industry and hit it hard. At least from my perspective anyway, because if you are a PlayStation fan, the PlayStation Showcase, it did a great job of showcasing games that are coming out in the first quarter of 2022. But if you are looking at games that are coming out within the year, like what do I get for Christmas? What do I look for in the holiday season? What do I look for in the Black Friday special? I think we've had the big releases this year if you're in the Sony camp.
Yeah.
and that scares me if the supply chain for PlayStation 5 gets up. I know Nintendo's going to be fine. They've got Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes.
But yeah, but Pokemon could just carry all of Nintendo for the next generation.
Oh yeah. Pokemon and Mario Party are carrying them this holiday season, and in January they've got Pokemon Legends Arceus coming out, which I don't know how big you are into Pokemon.
I played a fair bit.
But okay, so imagine Pokemon, but but you actually have to physically move the trainer and utilize the trainer, and positioning matters, and wild Pokemon will attack you.
Oh, I see.
That is Pokemon Legends Arceus coming out in January 2022. I am not going to be able to do it justice here. It looks absolutely insane. But those 3 games can and will carry Nintendo. I'm not concerned about them. Xbox has Halo coming out in November. I'm not concerned about them. I am concerned about my guys at Sony.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they've got something that isn't a multi-plat that's coming out in 2021 that gives us a reason to buy a PlayStation 5. That's all I'm saying.
But then again, we don't know what Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be yet, do we?
Yeah, but we also know that that's multi-plat. Guardians of the Galaxy is coming in October 2021.
Maybe that's one to get excited for.
Yeah.
Provided it doesn't get delayed.
Yeah. In any case, if either of you don't have anything, I think that is.
Yeah, just this month's PlayStation Plus is Predator 20 Grand's Hitman 2, which is worth a look. And I can't remember for the life of me what the PS5 one is. I can't remember what it is.
It's Overcooked.
It's Overcooked. Oh, I have Overcooked 1 and 2. They are mid little games. Hey, Fraser, why don't you go and play it, and then you and Jesse can cook a nice little meal for little Lucian and the Lady Helena.
Jesse's not really big on games besides like the Alice Madness series.
Fraser, I'm going to make this as simple an explanation for you and everyone as I can.
Until Dawn, I was surprised that she was actually playing for a while.
Right, Fraser, this is how the game goes. You use your D-pad. You basically move your chef to wherever it is you need to go. You press one button to do everything. So one button to chop, one button to carry, one to put on a plate, and one to serve it with. So it might just be press X and that's it. It is the easiest game that anybody could play. I bet even Lucian could play it.
Why?
It's so much fun. I mean, don't get me wrong. I will admit this now. I am not the best cook in this relationship. I'm probably not the best cook in the world, but my God, do I find this game so much fun.
Does Mel even game?
No, she doesn't. I've tried, but I think it might need a bit of a Nathan touch.
There's this one game I'm kind of waiting for. It's called Sifu. It looks to be a martial arts game. It's looking pretty good.
What's that coming out for?
I think it's PS4 and PS5. Their trailer dropped about 6 months ago. They've dropped a whole bunch of gameplay, and PlayStation, I think, just dropped the release about 2 weeks ago on one of the trailers.
Oh, chaps, it's
dropping 2022.
I have got something that I just want to say before we finish. It's not really game related, but at the same time it is. And Fraser will know what I'm on about if I say Injustice.
I know Injustice.
Yeah, they did there's a trailer that came out. I think it was this week or last. And it obviously the animated movie is based on the video games, but not obviously fully because there is stuff that's been changed, but it looks ever so bloody good. The only thing I will say is I don't believe Conroy and Hamill are doing this. That's my only doubt.
I mean, Injustice, I am surprised Conroy isn't doing it.
Don't get me wrong.
Hamill's never done Injustice.
No. I absolutely love Kevin Conroy, but I'm not the biggest fan of Mortal Kombat style games, which is what Injustice is. So I am actually I'm a bit sad that I won't get to play because, like I said, Mortal Kombat games are my thing. But at the same time, I would happily buy a disc version of Injustice just so there is the option to play it if I actually wanted to.
Okay, so
interesting enough, for the new movie, you'll never guess who's voicing Superman.
But the new one, Justin Hartley.
Yep, and it's interesting because he was Green Arrow on Smallville.
Yeah. But in fairness, I have actually listened to the trailer, and he does actually sound like George Newbern, who used to voice Supes in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, and obviously the animated series as well.
Yep. No, he didn't voice him in Superman the Animated Series. That was Tim Daly. No, that was Tim Daly.
Oh, was it Tim Daly?
Yep.
Is there anything else? Yes. I would like to finish on this. Hashtag, please make Wolverine Insomniac game with Deadpool, with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman.
Oh man. So for all those who...
I'll just check Twitter while you guys are doing it, just see if I've had anything.
Yeah, so for all of those who are, still listening to us, all two of you, we would like to thank you for listening into the Final Cut Presents the Director's Cut Podcast video game special, where we looked at the PlayStation 5 showcase.
One more. There is one more thing. It's not game related, but it is actually British related. Have you guys been watching the US Open?
A bit, actually.
A British lady won the US Open women's title. I think it was last night. And this is the first time in decades, that a British woman has actually won a major championship. So congratulations to Emma Raducanu. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I haven't tweeted her congratulations yet, but I will. So this is actually sort of a big day, not just because this is a gaming special for us, but obviously for a Brit like me who is sick and tired of watching Andy Murray win all the big stuff. We finally have a woman who can actually be as big as Andy Murray, if not bigger. So I'm absolutely excited for her future and what the future of British tennis is, because up until her, it's kind of not been that great, if I mean, because I haven't really kept up with tennis, but I think the last person aside from Andy Murray to win a major title was probably Virginia Wade or Sue Barker in the 70s. So we've had a really long drought without something. I bet there's probably somebody who watches tennis who's going to say, well, what about such and such and such? I'm going to say, well, I don't keep up with it. But I am so glad for her. She's only, I think she's only about 18. She's 18. In fact, she's broke a few records, actually. It says becomes the first qualified to win a Grand Slam singles title. She did not drop a set in 10 matches. That's saying something. She did not drop a set in any of her matches.
That's pretty good.
That is good for her. So, well, I don't know if my co-hosts wish her the best, but being as I am a Brit, and I have always wanted Britain to start being a tennis powerhouse after, say, the Americans, the Aussies, the Spanish, because they've had no end. All those three countries have had no end of absolutely brilliant talent.
You get
so
Rafa
hopefully this
and...
you
get Rafa and Novak. You're pretty good.
Yeah. Congratulations to Emma Raducanu, and I wish her nothing but the best for the future. And I really hope this is the first step in a Steffi Graf career, if you like, for her.
My family hasn't really watched tennis since my cousin retired.
Gotcha. Alrighty. So, ladies and gentlemen, for all two of you still listening to us, thank you for listening to Final Cut Presents Director's Cut Podcast, video game special. Let us know below if you would like us to go full circle on that whole comic book giveaway thing signed by Michael Fraser. He seems so into it.
It's a trap. Run away.
I'm not even going to
hug your comics.
Hide your comics. Hide everything. And in Fraser's case, maybe he should be worried that we can't persuade Mrs. Fraser to make him do it.
No,
it's
she
true.
won't do it.
She will.
Nope.
Yeah, go and carry on, Nathan.
I just saw something. Dean, don't we have Fraser versus Fraser?
We do actually. Yes.
We are waiting for a I'm starting to think here. I mean, we've got the wheel, of course, but do we just want to scrap the wheel and say that if Michael Fraser loses? Well, if Michael Fraser loses,
what do we think, ladies and gentlemen? What should we make? Should we make his forfeit? We've actually been trying to do?
Let us know.
What are you trying to do?
What are we trying to do? Well, it's simple. See, we get you a copy of One More Day, and you sign it for one lucky fan.
No.
So you want to try to win against your wife?
I'm not.
Your extra motivation.
This is extra motivation. If you win, you won't have to do it.
We'll let you pick. Hold on a minute, Fraser. I think I might be able to sweeten the deal a little bit. What if we let you pick your wife's forfeit?
No,
it's true.
Oh my God! We're giving you the option.
We give you the option to have we've
got the unbiased. It is always biased.
He doesn't know this.
Every episode is biased.
In fairness, Rage, we would actually take this seriously, and we will.
Your whole history. Your whole history.
Take this
Scouts
seriously.
I actually went to Scouts. I will put Scouts on that. I will judge this fairly. Despite the fact that you mentioned,
were you even a scout
against the tramp?
He said he was in Scouts. I believe him.
I think I was in Scouts.
But in all honesty, Fraser, what are you afraid of?
He's actually afraid of having to sign it.
You've got to defend Bruce Campbell here.
You have to.
No, it's not even about you, Bruce Campbell anymore. This is about you and your love of Bruce Campbell, who, by the way, was also in Spider-Man lore.
Yeah.
He's in all three.
By the way, Fraser, I do have a question. I do have a question that has been posed here since we did this podcast. Right. Your daughter is named after Helena Bonham Carter, right?
Yep, and the My Chemical Romance song of the same name.
So why didn't you name Lucian Bruce?
Jessie didn't want the name Bruce. She didn't want the name Bruce or Clark or any of the other ones. We considered Oliver for Green Arrow, but then my one friend named her son Oliver, and then my wife's best friend decided to take Oliver as their child's middle name, so then we scrapped the name altogether. So
I think we should do a petition, Nathan, to change Lucian's name to Bruce.
I agree.
Hey, that could be his reward if he wins.
No, oh my goodness, yes! Can you imagine Jesse's excitement? Do you know how hard she'd fight for Helena Bonham Carter?
Jesse said at one point, the biggest if of my life, if we ever consider having another one, we might name them Constantine, but even though the actual pronunciation of the name is Constantine, not Constantine.
Oh God, please, God, no, it's Constantine.
Tyne in the comics.
He's English.
Yes, it's Constantine. Apparently, in the original, in the older run, it's pronounced that way. They've explained it in the comic, but most people go with the other pronunciation, which has become very popular, Constantine.
Alrighty. Shall we do socials then, guys, and get on with our day? We still got another podcast to do, and
yes,
Michael Fraser, and this is Michael Fraser's mountain to die on. So I think we should wait until Fraser versus Fraser, the Ultimate Castration, to see if we can't get Michael Fraser to assist you, the people, in getting our first contest off of the ground.
Don't forget, there's the Are You Better Than an Encyclopedia I want to try and do as well.
Oh yes, oh yeah. But anyway, Dean, Fraser, do you guys want to start with socials?
I'll start with
I have
social.
one. Also, we'll be starting Stump the Movie Snob, aka Stump Dean Conley. If you can find a movie he's never heard of or seen, then there you
But you
go.
see, the thing is, Fraser, I don't consider myself an encyclopedia of movies. Hell, Kim Newman knows more than me.
But
the
you
fact of
are
the
our
matter is,
cinema snob,
we give
so...
you. Hold on a minute. We said you were an encyclopedia because you know literally everything.
Yeah, and every movie debate here, you have won on the podcast.
But to be fair,
To
you
a
starting with Movie
scary
Halloween is never
level.
a good starting point.
To an extremely scary level.
You do know that I have not met every movie that has been invented. I have never watched. I am actually quite picky with my movies, and unfortunately, streaming has come to a point where there is too much choice. I'm barely getting through 3 seasons of The Sinner because there's too much choice. By the way, if you like a good jump scare and a good plot twist, The Sinner is for you. Actually done by Jessica Biel. It's been produced by Jessica Biel, so it's actually quite good.
Oh, wow.
Right, so socials, was it Nathaniel?
Yes, it was.
Right, so I'm on Twitter on Final Cut Talk, and I'm on Instagram as Final Cut Official. And me and Fraser manage Body Slams and Dropkicks as Twitter and Insta between us. If anybody actually wants to see my movie reviewing stuff, it's on Facebook under Final Cut Reviews. Obviously, I interview now, so I don't really have as much time for reviewing as I used to. But if my keen eye and my unbiased eye can help you guys in choosing movies, regardless of whether they're old or new, then by all means, you are all welcome to have a look.
You can find me on Twitter at 5-Star Wildcard. You can find me on TikTok, Beautiful Michael. You can find me on Instagram, Beautiful Michael. You can find me on the other Twitter at Gokai Studios. You can find me on the other Twitter, like Dean said, on Body Slams and Dropkicks and our Facebook pages. Make sure you check out The Adventures of Phil Woods, performed by Nathan Tasker. Make sure you check the Last Will and Testament of Nathan Tasker as he sent it to us before his horrible, horrible accident.
Oh, God.
I wonder if that's actually gone up on our Spotify, iHeartRadio, stuff like that, all of our accounts.
And
yeah, we'll find out about that. We just need to
get the producer involved here. As for me, you can find me doing no socials because
actually, that's a lie. You have one.
I do have one. I do have one. It's Dr. J's Twitter. It hasn't been updated in around a month, but what I will tell you is there are new episodes of Dr. J starting soon. And if I may be so bold, there's been a lot of things on www.deathpixie.ca if you want to talk to me about voiceover projects or commission me or whatever. www.deathpixie.ca is the best way to get a hold of me. New episodes of Dr. J coming soon. And what's more important is I believe that Michael Fraser is really starting to duck us when it comes to that wonderful debate with his lovely wife, given how much
it's all talk about.
He is trying
because we were so looking forward to it, and I bet there's at least the one viewer that we still have actually looking forward to it too.
Anyway, folks, thank you so much for inviting us into your homes each and every week. On behalf of the Comic Book Encyclopedia and the man
soon to be ex-encyclopedia, because either he's going to tarnish his reputation by signing a copy of One More Day, or someone's gonna basically prove that he doesn't know anything.
And because I love the name, the Cinema Snob.
Oh, thanks.
I am Nathan, and have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, night, whatever it may be. Thank you so much for listening to us. Goodbye.